Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another glorious day of stellar tactics. Yes, indeed, my dudes. The epic music is back. Oh yeah, let's just hop right in. We're gonna go ahead and load the game, and then, my dudes, hang on, no, wait. Is this the real one? Is this it? Is it gonna drop the beat? I think it is. There we go. Farewell, greetings and salutations, my friend. Where you can find pleasure, search the world for treasure, learn science and technology in the Space Navy. Good day to you too, Farewell. Thank you, sir, for being here this morning. I love this music, dude. I wish this music played the entire time we played this game. So good. All right, there we go. That was the fat beats were done. The fat beats were done. All right, my dudes. It is time for the highlight of your day. The part that makes everything better. The real reason you're here. If you do, no worries. Listen carefully. 'Tis but a simple set of instructions. All you need to do, my dudes, is grab that cup or mug or glass. Perhaps you have a tankard, chalice, or a stein. Maybe a canteen, jug, or flask. A vessel of any kind. You fill it with your favorite liquid. I like my morning coffee. Enjoy me now for the gloriousness, the stupendosity, the absolute awesome sauce that is the simultaneous sip. It's happening right freaking now. Go! Oh, man. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Sipping so good, you need to do it twice. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, it's so good. So, now, I did say yesterday I was going to do a little bit of off-stream mining. And I did do a little bit. Not much, but a wee bit. Just a wee. Because I wanted to figure some things out, and I did. I did like 2 mining trips. And I got a bunch of just regular stuff. We also ended up refining it into, you know, refined metal. And today we're gonna do some more of that. And I'm probably gonna do mining first thing, so that I'm probably going to do mining first thing in the morning so that it's not, you know, in the middle of the stream when it's all super awesome. One thing I did find out is there are light mining weapons. It's just they don't make them for my class of ship, which is kind of weird. So if I want to make a mining vessel, I'm going to have to find a much, much better ship. See, they only make them in heavy. I wasn't able to find any other. And not only that, we can hit N to toggle our heavy turrets. See, a mining laser? Yeah. So, what is that one? It is an exceptional one. But ion beam does not use ammo. It uses a lot of capacitor. Wow. Wow, that's a lot. What is that? So, I did get... Before we got off stream last time, I did get a... Let's see here. I did get... That is an ion beam turret, a light one, and another light one. So it did lower my damage just a wee bit, but I wanted to see if 2 light ion turrets would be sufficient to do the damn thing, considering I have a Gauss cannon that I'll be able to use. So, now, let's go check out the merchant here, because it seems like every time we reload the merchants, they always have different stiff. Finest items from around the galaxy. That's nice. Ooh, what is that? That is rare. Oh, it's ranged. It's not a... Ooh, okay. Just range is not a specific weapon. But as you can see, they're not that expensive compared to how much money you get. How much money you get for the ship stuff. We did end up... Oh, last night. Yeah, check this out. Check this out. Look at this bad boy. The Conrar Warhawk SMK Advanced SMG. Look at that. Look at that. That is phenomenally awesome. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. 3 different slots. So it gives me, so I got +1 dex with +2% chance to hit. 16 ammo. 16 ammo in this bad boy, +9 damage. This thing is gonna be a beast. An absolute beast. Look at that. 38 rounds in that sumbitch. And it's burst and full auto only. So kind of sucks I don't have a single fire, but hey, man, you know, it works. It works. And What I really want to get is another is a heavy weapon, which I'm hoping to be able to mine stuff. And since I've got enough components from all the stuff that I've disassembled, we can do that. Also, check this out, Pastafarian. Finally, we found a modded rifle. It is significant increase in awesomeness, as you can see. Plus 8% chance to hit. Oh, it's so good. So good. All right, so we're going to get the hell out of here. We're going to get the hell out of here. He didn't have anything. Wait. Where's the weapons vendor? Where is the weapons vendor? In the body. In the body. Is it over here? It's not that guy. Is it this guy? That's ship equipment. Is it you? Yeah, here we go. Shields, weapons. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Give me the thing. I'll buy some more missiles. I'll buy a few more missiles. I always need missiles. Look at that. Thunderstorm pistol. Ooh, 18 to 33. So, I'm looking for blue weapons, essentially what it is. So, because I want the mod slots. Having higher damage is one thing, but having the mod slots is another. What is that? That's a pulverizer. See, it has no mod slots for some reason, even though it's green. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. I don't get it, buddy. I don't get it. All right, let's get out of here. No good weapons today. And let's see. Is the ship full? No, we have no cargo. We have no cargo. One of the shittier things also is that because I replaced my weapons right here. Where all your legendary weapon? What? Let's see. Because I replaced my weapons, I don't actually. Is this the one? That is. It also says stock turrets. I thought I had another turret. What? Stock turret. It says ammo power cells. I thought I had a. Mining laser. I thought I had a Gatling, frickin' a Gauss turret. Maybe I sold it. Where are all your legendary weapons? I don't have legendary weapons yet. I think that's what you're asking. There it is. Yes. That's it. That's the Gauss cannon that I bought. Right? Does not use that. No, there it is. Yeah, Gauss cannon rounds. Yeah, that's it. That bad boy. So, when we go do some ship combat here in just a little while, it's gonna be phenomenal. Hopefully with my 2 light ion turrets, we'll be able to annihilate their shields. And hopefully, strange game without legendary weapons everywhere. Yeah, it is strange, right? That is one of the things that I found out when I was playing before, is that especially in the ground combat, it's fairly easy once you start doing the crazy missions, once you start doing missions over and over again, to get fairly well equipped, and then the upgrades basically become percentage based rather than, anything meaningful. Whoa, lagged a little bit there. All right, so, and it got a little bit boring. That's why I eventually stopped playing there for a while. It was because of that, but I didn't really want to get into the space combat and stuff because, I don't know why. Not nerdy enough, I guess, at the time. But that's definitely what we're getting into today. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The most exciting mining stream on Twitch, I swear to God. We will purge the asteroids, most definitely. But you can easily get legendary stuff. You just have to farm the crap out of those faction missions to get their legendary gear. Bong! I love that noise. Love it. And the cool thing is it gives experience for scanning. Oh god. Oh god. I didn't do it. I swear. I didn't do it. All right, let's turn on the weapons and commence mining. Space travel looks like EVE Online or Elite Dangerous. Wow, yeah, it does. It does. I quite like it. I quite like it. For such a simple game that it is, it's quite awesome. Bzzz. And this is what we're gonna be doing. And scanning. Whoops. Whoops. And scanning. We're at 16,000. We're totally gonna do that. All right, what do we get? Let's get rid of this. Boom. All right, so asbestos. Excellent. All right, let's keep scanning. This will level up. I believe Farwell is on the electronic station. Yeah. So I'm leveling up. I'm leveling up Farwell's scanning ability. Just keep scanning. Oh yeah. Even mining, yeah. I believe the person who's on the weapons turret is the one that does the mining. So let me see here. If I go character and we look at, is it Pastafarian? Yeah, Pastafarian. He's on the weapons console, I believe. Yep. So his mining is going up. Up and up and up. And it's quite easy to overfill your cargo bay. What is that, 70,000 kilometers? I can't scan him. What about... I can't click on any of that. What about this guy? Already scanned him. So, one of the things that Downslide suggested is that while we do this, we talk about other things. Oh yeah, I got that skill go up. So exciting. Is that we talk about something that I'm fairly good at talking about, like, I don't know, space aliens and whatnot. And one of the things I wanted to touch on today was the Fermi paradox. Now, I've talked a little bit about this, and the Fermi paradox basically states, it's a paradox as to, if the universe is so old, no, we're not going to do Raiders. If the universe is so old, how come... Crap, I just turned my shields off. I hate that, dude. I need to change that button. I really need to turn that button off, because I like clicking it. What am I at, 95? One of the things that the Fermi paradox talks about, or that it talks about, is the fact that the universe is so old, but we don't see any signs of alien life. And it's a paradox as to why that is, because like, imagine how long humans have been around. It took what, 4 billion years for our planet to produce life in a universe that's about 13 billion years old. And so, why would it not be possible for life to have evolved sooner? Because, I mean, it's definitely possible that in the 13 billion years... Will I make that one? Will I make that one? Nice. In the 13 billion years that the universe has been around, and the estimated life... I'm too bad at English to go into physics or Xenos discussions. Fair enough. But in the 13 billion years estimated that the universe has been around, it would make sense that there would be evidence that other civilizations would have risen, and if they had risen, we would probably see evidence of them doing things out in the universe. Because when you're a Kardashev 1, 2, or when you're a Kardashev 3 civilization, that means you are, or even a Kardashev 2 civilization, which is a scale we'll get into here in a second, you will leave evidence of your activities behind. We've talked about this before, where it's like mega structures, englobing stars and things like that, in giant Dyson swarms, or spheres, as it was once called. Although the colloquial term for Dyson sphere has now become literally encasing an entire star in a metal sheath and absorbing all its sunlight, although that's not the original conception by Freeman Dyson. Freeman Dyson's original conception was not to completely englobe a star in metal to absorb all the sunlight. What it was is to create a swarm of satellites that humans either live in, like giant rotating habitats or some such nonsense, as well as habitable platforms that simply absorb sunlight in a very passive sense, or even more intense, where you do this thing called star lifting, where you extract heavy metals from a star using its own solar wind and its own magnetic properties to extract heavy metals from an actual star. Our sun has about 1%, 2% metallicity. which means about 1 or 2% of it is actually made of metal, or it has metal in it, I should say. And that is more metal than is contained within all the other planets in the solar system. So it's a lot of metal. It's a lot of metal. It's not just all the planets, all the rest of the mass in the solar system. Ooh, rich deposit of ore. Nice, nice. I think we are like ants for aliens. It's entirely possible. They have no reason to interact with our sector. Also entirely possible. That's one of the reasons that it's one of the explanations given of the Fermi paradox is that we are so not advanced, and that other species have advanced so far beyond our ability to conceptualize. That's why they don't interact with us. It's not that they like evolved to a higher plane. They literally view us as apes. But the problem with that is that you look at human behavior. What do we do with apes? We put them in zoos. You know what I mean? They're like most apes know of humans, even wild ones. Most of them know of us because we go there, we study them, we do all kinds of things. So they have a conceptualization of us. They have many animals have a fear of us. Most animals fear humans. Even predators fear humans in large numbers, or in other instances where we may where they may know that we actually will do damage to them. So that's not a solution for the Fermi paradox. Then the reason that is this is the big thing, is that the Fermi paradox requires a solution that solves for all the equations. It's actually they actually list it out in an equation of probability, and one of the biggest things is that you have to have a planet. So a star has to form planets. That planet has to be habitable for a certain amount of time for life to evolve. That's part of the equation. Then let me turn my weapons on here. We'll get started on this asteroid. And then the planet not only has to survive long enough to have life on it, it has to evolve intelligent life. And intelligent life is not actually evolutionarily beneficial. Humans are a very prime example of this. We are mediocre at most things as far as evolution is concerned. Our weapons, so to speak, our claws are not very sharp, and they're not very good for killing things, not like, you know, bears and tigers and all these other kind of animals. We don't run very fast compared to other animals like cheetahs and gazelles and whatnot. Ah, dang it, I keep pressing the wrong freaking button. It's K. It's K. What are we looking at? 168. Okay, good. And so, involving intelligence is not nearly as predetermined as one might think. Because, I mean, there are other intelligent animals on this planet that are almost as intelligent as we are, I should say. And dolphins are one. Bottlenose dolphins are possibly the most intelligent animal other than us. There are several species of octopus that are extremely intelligent. Like, it's creepy how intelligent these guys are. But one of the reasons they may never have evolved, just like dolphins, into animals that could, you know, make tools and all this other stuff is because they do not live on the surface of Earth. They live in the water. So you can't... Dolphins are here to save us? Right. So long as thanks for all the fish, right? But one of the reasons that dolphins and octopi haven't really... probably will never evolve into tool-using species that could dominate the planet is probably because they live in the ocean, unless they transition out of the ocean. And the biggest reason is because, one, you can't make fire underwater, which is duh. But fire is a huge, huge factor in building intelligence, because once you have fire, you have energy. Once you have energy, you can use that energy to remake the world around you. And when you can remake the world around you, there's a lot of things you can do. So you could potentially have a very intelligent species. You could have a very intelligent species on an alien planet. Let's say have crab people. But if they live primarily underwater and are unable to develop fire because of that reason, then they will never evolve the ability to have space travel like we have. They will never develop space travel. They will never develop, you know, sophisticated tool making. They will never develop metallurgy and all kinds of other things that we could. Now, it's entirely possible they come up with some other way to do this, using like volcanic vents or, you know, some other type of mechanism that could possibly make that happen, but it's not very likely. Also, if the animal species in question does not evolve the ability to have the appendages to be able to use tools, then that species will never actually be able to, even if they had the ability to make fire. If we're talking crab people, right? On an alien planet, we got crab people. They just have those big claws. Now, it's possible they could develop tools and sophisticated methods to use those claws to develop tools that work in tandem with their claws to actually develop sophisticated tools. But it's less likely. One of the things that is very surprising is how sophisticated human hands are. They are extremely precise and dexterous tools. So it's highly unlikely that a species that has crab claws or for instance, like dolphins who don't have any arms or hands that can be used to dexterously manipulate things, would ever even be able to develop tools, even if they were on land, right? So imagine you had a species that was like a kiwi, right? That lived on land. It has no arms, it just has legs and a beak, but it's extremely intelligent and problem solving, so it can find bugs and whatnot. So it could develop an extremely sophisticated intelligence for this, but still not ever develop the ability to make tools or build sophisticated societies around that. So there are a lot of permutations of the Fermi paradox that basically state that there are probably, if there is life out there, there's probably a lot of it that will never actually develop enough intelligence or the ability to actually use that intelligence to go anywhere. Because again, even if you have like higher than normal human intelligence, like the crab people, let's say all of them are geniuses compared to us, you know, all of them are geniuses compared to us. It's not going to matter because they can't use fire. They can't develop tools because they have crab hands. You know what I mean? It's never going to work. I mean, dolphins potentially could be smart. Every dolphin could potentially be a savant genius, and it wouldn't matter, right? Because all they want to do is jump around and play with fish and eat. And they never develop anything more than that because there's no need to. For humans to survive, we had to develop tools and sophisticated equipment to be able to survive our environment. It pushed us forward. Not only that, humans have this specific ability, unique in the animal kingdom so far as we know, to do, how do I want to put this? How do I want to do this? Where we can think into the future, right? So you think, I'm going to walk out into the woods and I'm going to try to kill this animal. How is that going to work? And what you do is you think about 100 different ways to do it. Okay, I can climb up in the tree and then jump on the animal, or I can hide in this bush and then jump on the animal, or I can lay on the ground hiding in the grass and then jump on the animal, or I can do this and do that and do this. And you can try out several different permutations of your actions in your mind using your imagination before you ever even do it in the physical world. So you can run computer simulations, complex computer simulations in your brain, and look into the future to see possibly how it might work out. Now, obviously, we're imperfect beings and we can't predict everything that happens in the future. But when you're a fairly good hunter, you can pretty well predict how an animal will react, right? So this is why humans were able to use traps and things like that to trap animals. Not only that, we're also a species that runs our prey to death. That is what modern what is it called? Anthropology believes that humans did to kill. It wasn't, you know, especially hunting like woolly rhinos and mammoths and all this shit. We didn't just charge at them with spears and hope for the best. That's not how that worked. We use spears to, you know, we chuck spears at them to make them run, and then we literally run to catch up. Because humans have the ability, especially if you're really fit, to run constantly, all the time. Most animals cannot do that. Most animals have a burst of speed, and then they have to stop. And if they keep going, they'll die. So what happens is that, especially use something like an elk or gazelle or something, you hunt it down, you chuck some spears at it, and then, all right, let's go back to base. My stuff is full, so we're gonna go to the outpost, and yes. And so you chuck spears at it, it runs away. And then you and your buddies, you all start jogging after it. After about 30 minutes, you catch up to it because it stopped running after a few minutes. and you've caught up to it, you chuck some more spears at it, and basically you do this all day until you run it to death. And it will run until it dies. It will then sit down and just die. We see this all the time with wolves, right? Because they'll trap the animal and they'll make it run in circles over and over. And when you have a huge pack of wolves, all the wolves can take turns chasing it down and whatnot. Especially if they got it cornered in circles. And eventually they'll just give up because they're so exhausted they can't do anything anymore. And so it really is, as far as we can tell, humans do have a weirdly designed system that has allowed us to get where we are right now. And there are so many things that could prevent us from achieving our level of intelligence, our level of dominance of this planet, our level of technology. And so if we didn't have, arms, if we didn't have hands that were extremely dexterous, if we didn't have minds that could see into the future, that could do complex virtual reality simulations of the future in our heads, if we couldn't plan for the future, if we couldn't do any number of these things, if we didn't have any of these little building blocks that got us where we are, we probably wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be talking over this freaking giant computer network that is, the internet, and video games wouldn't exist. There's all these crazy things, and this is even before we get into, all the other crazy space building, advanced technologies, or is FTL real? This is mundane bullshit, right? So it's really kind of crazy how it. Let's see. Let's do the ore refinery, and we should be able to. Let's clear, and then refine all, and we should be able to refine a few of them. Boom. Okay. All right, let's go check out the crafting bench. I want to see how this works. Do we actually need humans? Are the only one who invented towels? Yes, that is true. So I have refined zinc. I need refined tungsten. This is beam pistol, heavy flamer. We have a lot of finishing items. We have none of the rare earth mods or rare earth stuff. Okay. So that's the thing, is like, should I refine? I see. Rare earth is consumed when managing negative and positive status effects. 1 unit of refined ore is used for each quality tier in the crafting process. Huh. Interesting. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. Alright, so one of the biggest issues that I'm having here is that you can't actually put all this stuff in your inventory, right? You have to, like, manage it. So weird. Alright, so we can't actually put all this stuff in our inventory because we don't have enough cargo space for it. So, yeah, there's my silica. It's really weird. So, I'm going to put all the ore directly into the storage. One of the cool things about this is that the storage slots here are for each individual item, or excuse me, they're for a category of item, whereas in your cargo bay it's for each individual one. So if I have 20 cobalt ore, it takes up 20 spots. But all the cobalt ore I have only takes up 1 spot in here, so that's pretty good. Now what about all my refined stuff? Alright, here's all the refined stuff. Rare earth mineral. Okay, so there's rare earth minerals. That's cool. Refined ore. Mineral, refined. Alright, cool. So, I'm gonna Molly be denim. Gotta love that one. Love that one. Molybdenum, I believe is how the British say it. Molybdenum. Alright, so I think it's the rare earths you can't actually refine. I would hope that's how that works. So we do have lutetium. We don't have any of these others. I have 3 refined silica. I need refined gold and tungsten. Do I really not have any of this shit? Apparently not. Apparently not. Refined iron? How do I not have refined iron and titanium? What the hell? No, I don't. That's weird. That is weird. What I will do is I'll go over here and we will... You know how to find rare earth minerals? Yeah, dig them up, right? Dig them up. Molybdenum. We'll grab that. We got over 30 of it, so I need to refine it. Felspar. Zinc. Zinc, we got 30 of that. Anything we got over 30 of, I can refine. Nickel. And vanadium. So I need more titanium, platinum. It'd be nice if they were like in alphabetical order. That'd be great. Wouldn't it? Be phenomenal. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep mining. We're gonna go on a few runs today. We're gonna do a few mining runs today. I've never done the crafting, and so I want to figure this shit out. So it's gonna be a process, that's for sure. It's gonna be a process. Okay, so let's go ahead and whip out the refinery. Let's refine all ore. So we've got quite a bit here. And the problem with the refinery, that's something I can look at real quick, is the problem with the refineries is that you lose a lot of ore when you use them. So let's see what we got. Refinery. Maybe they got something better. I was hoping to find... Is that what I think it is? It's a light mining laser! Yes! That's mine. That's mine. You can't have it. It's mine. That's mine. Nope. It's mine. And we can also find, 31,000 though for that. Oh, wow. Or 62,000. Look at that. The exceptional cargo space. For like, what, 6 more spots? That's hardcore. Yeah, exceptional ore refinery. So, the exceptional ore refinery, 66% efficiency, minus 50. It means you lose less. Tantalum is REM. REM. Word. That's expensive. That's really expensive. Okay, so we got a second mining laser. I'm super stoked about that. Finally! I thought they didn't make them, dude, because I looked last night in both of the places, and I've never seen one that wasn't heavy. So I'm super stoked that that's the thing now. And so we're literally just gonna... Yeah. The double mining laser. All right, let's go ahead and transfer this bad boy. Let's go ahead and get all this stuff out. Wait, did I refine my ore? I don't think I refined it. Here we go. Start refinery. Waste 5 units. Ugh. I don't know what that means, if it just wasted that many units and it converted a little bit of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Is that it wastes a little bit. As you can see, it says it right there. But we've got, let's see, lutetium, samarium. I don't even know how to say that. Praseodymium, terbium, and lutetium. Okay. I can deal with it. And, okay. Pretty sure I know what the hell's going on. Not really, though. We're just going to stick it all in there. We're going to stick it all in there. All right, now, I believe I've got mining lasers. Double mining laser. Excellent. So the real problem now is that one of the things that I find very interesting is that we have... Now I'm really not going to be able to defend myself. Because you can't use mining lasers, I'm pretty sure, in ship-to-ship combat. So if I get waylaid, I'm just gonna have to run. I'm gonna advise this game to my old teachers at university. Nice. Okay, so yeah. So as I was saying, there are many steps along the way to getting to where we are that could possibly prevent a species from attaining not only a level of intelligence, but also using that intelligence to do anything other than basic, simple stuff to make your life a little bit better, right? So let's talk about, as far as the Fermi paradox goes. So we've talked about needing, you know, you have to have a star, you have to have a planet. Now, technically, life could possibly arise on a rogue planet that has extreme geothermal activity, but without sunlight, it's kind of hard to really say that life could evolve far enough, and that life could evolve far enough, that life could evolve long enough, and get to a point where essentially we are as humans. Because one of the things that we have as humans that other animals do not is giant freaking brains compared to the size of our body. And I'm trying to go up. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's chill out right here. Turn on the shields, weapons. Let's push the thrusters to the max just because we got to run. For space geology lessons, nice. And so developing intelligence is also one of those things where it's like, it's not very advantageous, right? Our ancestors did not become apex predators because they were super duper smart. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but in the animal kingdom, especially when the time when our ancestors evolved, we were tiny compared to a lot of things. And we still are tiny compared to a lot of things. Bears are much bigger than we are. Lions, tigers, bears, you know, and they had to deal with like saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and giant creatures like that. So it's not immediately in evidence that having a giant brain that can do what our brain does is advantageous in an evolutionary setting. Now, one of the reasons we may have developed this is because we may have been shielded from predation in certain ways because of climbing trees and whatnot that our primate ancestors did. But most of that's speculation, and so we can't really delve too much into that, and it really doesn't have much to do with the Fermi paradox to begin with. But it is one of those things where it's like, it's not even if you had a planet full of life, even if you had a relatively intelligent species, like say velociraptors, where they had very large brains for their body size. Especially the the Utah raptor, which was a little bit heavier than most humans, but a little bit smaller as well, but had a very large brain cavity. No, game, no. I'm trying to click the box, damn it. Which had a very large brain cavity for its size. But if the asteroid that had killed the dinosaurs and spread iridium all over the surface of the planet had not killed the dinosaurs, would the raptors evolved into a sophisticated society that could develop space travel and all that other nonsense? And the answer is probably no. And one of the reasons is because being smart is not necessarily advantageous in an evolutionary sense. Not only that, they were pure predators. So even though humans eat a lot of meat, we're not pure predators. We can sustain on things that are not meat. And so having a very large population like we do would not be sustainable if all we ate was meat. If we were pure carnivores, our civilization probably could not be sustainable the way it is right now, even though we do eat a lot of meat, even though a lot of people eat a lot of meat. But purely carnivorous reptiles still control the planet. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. They're fair enough. Reptilioids still control the planet. Yeah, but you know, space alien reptilianoids are a whole nother ballgame. We need to save that for when we get into the 5G. You know what I mean? But anyway, all right, where was I? Developing intelligence. Yeah, is not necessarily guaranteed. Not only that, if we take velociraptors, as I was talking about, as an example, much like dolphins, they may not have been able to develop the dexterity needed in their appendages, right? Or excuse me, not much like dolphins. Dolphins don't have any appendages, but like them, they may not have developed. They may not be able to use their claws in a way that we have developed to use our hands. Now that that might not be the case, considering if you think about it. Am I still thrusting? I am. If you think about it, they might not have been able to, like, they did have fairly dexterous claws, but they were for killing, right? Not holding things. Not like you and I can, at least I hear that really often, yeah, right? You and I can, like, take a little silica bead and hold it between our fingers and roll it around and move it between each of our fingers. A velociraptor wouldn't be able to do that. Now, given, you know, 65 to 100 million years of evolution from the point at which they died out, maybe they could have. It's entirely within the realm of possibility, but that doesn't mean it could be. It doesn't mean it would have been the case. It would have required specific evolutionary pressures for that to be the case. So, all right. So, developing intelligence is the next thing that is required. So we've gone from star planet to have a long enough lifespan to develop life, a long enough lifespan of that planet to develop intelligent life, right? So we look at Mars and we think that Mars may have had life on it at some point. But because of the circumstances of Mars creation, i.e. it's a very small planet that has a very thin atmosphere that's basically been blown off, you know, billions of years ago at this point, for the most part. It's about 1% the atmospheric pressure that Earth is. So I'm gonna get this biggin right here. We gonna get this biggin, boys. We gonna get this biggin. Yeah. Give me some of that badness. Give me some of that badness. So even if it had life, even if it had developed intelligent life, you know, what was that movie, Mission to Mars? Is that what it was, or was it just Mars? I forget which one, but it was the one with it was the one where they discovered a signal on Mars that was basically a radio signal that contained enough information to where it looked like the double helix of human DNA, and they find it's in the giant face that's on Mars and all that stuff. Yeah, that movie where it's like, oh, actual intelligent life developed on Mars first, and then they seeded the Earth. Is it possible? Hell, I don't know. Probable? Nah, maybe not. But the thing about it is that Mars is the perfect example of a planet that had the potential to develop life, and it did not. Or at least as far as we know, it did not. It doesn't have it today. And so it's one of those things. It's a failure as far as the Fermi paradox goes. It is an example of one of the reasons why we don't see alien life out there, because the planet that alien life would have developed on wasn't sustainable in the long term for that life, and therefore could not develop intelligent life because it could not support life for long enough to do so. So that is one solution, but that is not a solution that fits all the paradigms, which is one of the things you look for with the Fermi paradox. There is almost no solution that we've ever come up with that could explain every single reason why there is no life out there, other than we are the precursor civilization. We are the first. That's the only one, and we'll get into that later, because that's gonna be a topic for a whole nother time. What are we looking at here? How's the ore looking? 152. All right, good. You're at 59. Range is 5180. Yeah, we'll be able to scan you here in a little while. What about you? I wish it would quit doing that. So 60. What are you? 17. Hey, there we go. Hey, Pastafari's mining skill went up. Nice. All right, so now we've gotten to the intelligent life part, which is still a big thing that I've basically just glossed over, but you know, it is what it is. And so, as far as the Fermi paradox goes, once you've reached the point where you have intelligent life and you have the ability to make tools and make fire and all this other stuff that, like I was talking about, just because we have intelligence doesn't mean we would be able to make a spacefaring civilization. Those two are not one and the same, because of the reasons I've stated before. You know, there are several reasons why we were able to do such things, including atmospheric pressure. Imagine if Earth had a much higher atmospheric pressure. We would not be able to have fire. You know, the whole scene with Tom Hanks being like, "I have created fire!" That thing, yeah, we wouldn't be able to do that. We wouldn't be able to do that. The same way the crab people wouldn't be able to develop fire because they live underwater, right? Just the same way dolphins wouldn't be able to use fire and things like that because they live underwater. If the atmospheric pressure were too high, fire would not be possible under normal circumstances. You would have to literally create a vacuum compared to atmospheric pressure to be able to create fire in that instance. I think after Mars colonization, we will know more. Yeah, we could know more. It's one of the reasons I'm very much in favor of going to Mars. We need another space race, man. It is becoming ridiculous, dude. It is becoming ridiculous. Dude, I am blowing this thing to pieces. Look at that. Look at that. So good. No, I don't want to. I'm mining, damn it. All right, so now we've talked about the development of intelligence, tools, and all this other stuff. So what's next? What is next? Well, what comes next? So, civilization. Once you have a civilization, if you ever develop the ability to get one, then you have to survive as a civilization, which we have not done yet. We're how about somewhat of the way there, right? We've got advanced technology. We can get into space. I'm approved volunteer for Mars 2030. Dude, I am like, you don't even know, man. I would totally do that. Like, I know a lot of people who probably would, but I am all about that colonial life, man. All about it, baby. All about it. I would go to another planet and build. You know what I'm saying? Totally. You want to talk about meaning in your life? That shit will give you meaning. Every day on the precipice of death, every day you have to work hard just to survive. I know it sounds like shit, but honestly, man, I'd be all about it, dude. All about it. This is why I wish aliens would just go ahead and invade and conquer us and get rid of all this petty bullshit so that they can give me a ship for me and my family and we can just go explore the stars. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. First Russian geologist on Mars. Right on, buddy. Right on. I will simultaneous sip to that for the first nuclear engineer on Mars. Cheers, dude. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that be a thing? Wouldn't that be a thing? So, we have civilization, right? But how does civilization develop? Does civilization develop in a space travel? Absolutely not. There's a meme that's been around since I was a teenager about how if Christianity hadn't come to Europe, we'd be exploring the stars by now. And this is, in my opinion, an extreme fallacy for many reasons, but one of the biggest is to say that religion held us back so much insofar as that, or that Christianity did so, when the thing about it is it wasn't religion in and of itself, it was things going on at the time. There were many reasons why Europe entered the Dark Ages, and the Dark Ages were not spanning the globe. The Native Americans, the Native American Indians did not know anything about Dark Ages. Most of Africa didn't know anything about the Dark Ages. Most of Asia didn't know anything about the Dark Ages. Arabia knew a little bit about it, but they didn't call it the Dark Ages. They were just like those primitive-ass white people. You know, we've got algebra, and they're still flinging mud around. They're funny. That's the way it went. So to say that we'd be exploring the stars by now is, let's just say it's a little bit of that thing that, you know, they call a little bit colonial and a lot of other, you know, underlying things that are not very nice, and to say in modern times. How are we doing on our cargo space? 345, dude. We were doing phenomenally. I love the fact that I got 2 mining lasers. It's so awesome. So, and not only that, it wasn't really much of a dark age insofar as civilization. It's that Europe stopped developing out of Arabians or out of Dark Ages. Oh, no. You misunderstand me, sir. What I mean to say is that during the European Dark Ages, Arabia is where most of the knowledge from Europe went, like math, science, a lot of the stuff that had been developing in Europe had moved, had that knowledge had been shared with the Arabian empires, and they kept that knowledge while Europe went through its quote Dark Ages, end quote. And we're talking like, you know, 1,000-year period, right? 500 to 1,000 years. But a lot of it had to do with things like, you know, one of the things that really started the Dark Ages were the Vikings raiding Europe. So there was a lot of fear there. But you also have to remember that the Dark Ages is what spurred most of Europe to develop massive military technological advancement, right? Medicine, food, maths. Yes, that's correct. All those kind of things were that knowledge was still available. Not all of it was lost. In fact, most of it was not lost. And so it's kind of a, let's just go ahead and get a run back. And we'll get on out of here. Get on out of here. Come on now. Oh, let me just click this button. There we go. Did we scan that one? No. Scanny. I gotta get the scan going. I need the experience. We're probably gonna level up off this stuff. It's gonna be great. But just because Europe went through the Dark Ages, for whatever reason, does not mean that we would be exploring the stars otherwise. Because that's a fallacy of what ifs. We don't have a control Earth that we can run an experiment on where Christianity did not spread throughout Europe, and the Vikings didn't start raiding Northern Europe, and all these other things that contributed to the fall of what we'd call civilization back then happened. So it's because the thing about it is that during the Dark Ages, people still flourished. One moment, but in one moment, sides changed. Europe started evolving. The Middle East goes into barbarity. Yeah, that's because there was a man in the God, I can't remember his name, but I think it was like the 8th century that basically reformed Islam into a more fundamentalist religion, and then that spread throughout most of the Arabic empires. You see what I mean about this glitch right here? That is, I'm on Hopi, and she has this giant freaking waffin right here, and it looks like this thing for some freaking reason. I don't know why it does that. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird, dude. I'll tell you what else would be awesome is that if I didn't have to transition to... Whoa. We got some more Promethium. Nice. If I didn't have to transition to... Wait, what? Game. If I didn't have to transition to the inside of here to go to do my mining thing, or to transfer my stuff, that would be nice if I could just do it outside. Because it's early access. Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. It would just be nice if there was a menu right there. Transfer over. Not only that, here's an interesting thing. The cargo space only exists at this outpost. If you go to, if I went to the other place, the mining place, it wouldn't 4 years in early access. Yeah. If I went to the other place, the ore processing facility, I would not have any storage. So that's one of the reasons why I placed a beacon in this system, is so that, because I bought storage here and it's 20K. So I want to make sure I have access to it at all times. So by placing a beacon, I can translocate here at any time. Okay, so civilization, what does it mean? How does it help us get to space? Well, to develop civilization, humanity has had civilization for, as best we can guess, 9,000 to 10,000 years. Now, there's a few things that could contradict that number, blah, 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 like the Sphinx is one of the things, but that's beside the point. Let's just take it as broad strokes. It's taken us 10,000 years since somebody developed written language, and the ability to trade amongst themselves in that written language, before we've gotten to the point where we develop space travel. So it's not a given that that would happen, especially considering how many things in our world have pushed against the development of technology. That one of the solutions to the Fermi paradox is that there may be civilizations out there that never develop beyond simple stone tools, or even metal tools like we did in the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, and so on and so forth, because of either religious dogmatism or here's one. What if the planet you're on doesn't have any iron, or all that iron is trapped in its core, and you never have access to it, right? So you would be stuck with bronze level technology. What if you don't have what if your planet that you are on has very low deposits of aluminium? What if that's the case? Well, if that's the case, then you're probably not going to develop lighter material until you develop carbon fiber and stuff like that, which you may not ever develop. So there are many things that could prevent a very intelligent species that has all the right conditions, like we do, with dexterous mandibles, appendages that allow for the manipulation of your environment, where you have high enough intelligence to do so. Like, they could be even more intelligent than we are, just like the crab people, but never actually be able to develop technology beyond the Stone Age because their planet lacks the metallicity that ours has. And so imagine perpetual Stone Age, where there almost is no metal anywhere. So you have, the only thing you really have to work with is rock and obsidian. How would you ever develop any kind of sophisticated technology if you don't have metallurgy? I don't believe it would be possible. You're not going to develop space age technology from the Stone Age. And that's, I mean, it kind of sounds ridiculous when I say it like that. What I mean by that is that you're never going to develop the ability to make, like, one of the reasons we're able to develop things like carbon fiber and graphene, which is a really awesome thing that we could talk about later. But it's like a super material. You can't. It is seriously in doubt to whether a civilization could develop such materials without the base understanding of metallurgy and those kind of processes. So if you lack the ability to get access to low grade non-advanced metals like copper, tin, iron, and titanium, tungsten, if you're unable to get those metals, then your civilization will probably never develop enough to get to the point where you could develop carbon fiber or other ceramic-based materials that could be much better. Because, right, we've had ceramics since the beginning of civilization. The Greeks, used ceramic. The Romans used ceramics. All these types of things. And so you can imagine that civilizations before them that didn't have, iron and copper weaponry and materials also used pottery. But you're never, it is very unlikely that you would develop the ability to use ceramics in an advanced way without the other technologies from metallurgy that come along with it. Like, we've had the steam engine for like 4,000 years. The steam engine has existed for 4,000 years, but it wasn't until the frickin' 1700s and all the technological advancement up to that point that some dude said, what happens if I put this giant metal canister and I fill it with steam and put a piston on the other end? What happens? And boom, you have the actual steam engine that we have that basically obliterated our entire civilization before that. And so you have very specific technologies that could be gateways to being able to get into space. So if you have a civilization, and let's say you have the metals, and you have a civilization similar to ours, where you have all these things set up, what happens if you have a worldwide, global, fundamentalist religion that completely and utterly suppresses technological advancement? And not even that. What if it's not even a religion in and of itself? Like, God said don't do this, so we're going to kill anybody who does. What if it is more of an ideology? Like, I don't know, communism. In communism, Elon Musk wouldn't have the ability to send a Tesla into space. And a lot of people balked at the fact that he sent a Tesla into space. But the thing that they failed to realize is that they needed a payload. Any payload would have done. And they were just going to send a bunch of junk. But then he was like, why don't I just send a car instead? And maybe it'll inspire some people to do some things. And that's what he did. They needed to add weight to the rocket as a test to see if it would work. Without the weight, the test was basically irrelevant, right? So, oh, nice. We broke that one up pretty good. Pretty good. How are we doing on space? 196, not bad. I want the big uns. I want the big uns. Let's get that one right there. That one looks nice and big. That's a big one. Is that a big one? Yeah, that's a big one.